What we have here is a unlimited Trans Am TA1 car. It's, in my opinion, one of the fastest naturally aspirated GT-shaped cars in the world. You take something like the base TA1 car that exists today, you look at the lap times that they're doing, and they're extremely fast. We're talking sub 3,000 pound weight, 800 to 900 horsepower engines, and just giant tires on all four corners. So it's a pretty good formula. So you take that, and this car's even gone a couple steps further because there's no engine regulations. It's truly an unlimited build. So there's no engine regulations, there's no aerodynamic regulations, tire compounds, anything like that. Those rules did not apply to this build. So it was constructed by a group called BC Race Cars out of Canada. They've been building Trans Am cars for years and years. Aerodynamic design was done by Andrew Brilliant, a renowned aerodynamicist. It was originally built by the founder of VP Racing Fuels, no stranger to racing, and built an entire company, an entire career, his entire livelihood in racing and motorsports. So all of these cool forces come together to create what you see here. The goal was to never get beat by another full-size bodied car ever. Us on the time attack side of the shop, we love that. You know, we just want one flyer. We want all the power, all the downforce. Just give us one lap. So it really aligns with what we do here from day to day, but it takes the most American approach to it. It's like you took all the technology and development in NASCAR and put it on a road course. You get the Trans Am TA1, tube chassis, like really a race-focused machine, where time attack cars are street-based race cars. You know, they had to build around rules and regulations for road-going cars, where this is a true tube chassis car. There's nothing road-going about it. So that's every decision that you make can be very, very race-focused. You're not building around, hey, our firewall's here, and you know, we have this crash structure here, the suspension mounts here. All that stuff kind of goes out the window with this application. So a lot of talented people in the industry came together to build this, and I love it. I could look at this thing all day long. I'm not a big American car fan or Mustang fan for that matter, but I am a fan of race cars, and one of my favorite sayings is any race car can be a show car, and every show car can be a race car. And this car is a true testament to that. So some of the key standout features on this car are massive front splitter, which you never typically see on a TA car, dual element rear wing, side skirts diffuser, large Motec dash. They recently allowed the ability to use a 5-speed sequential transmission, which was in the past has been a 4-speed dog box. So it's got, you could look inside the engine, you'd see all the pretty bits, you know, made of exotic materials, fed through a carburetor of all things. It works. Something like this is a 900 plus horsepower engine. It's something to behold. And I'd say that's one of the best pieces of technology taken from the NASCAR guys. You know, they can run that horsepower at 10,000 RPM for hundreds of miles. It's an amazing thing. That's what this car can do. So I think those are the standout features on this one that you'd never typically see. It's one of one. There's nothing like this that's ever been built as a TA1 variant, especially with professional designed aero. So I think if you were to put this TA1 car against the top time attack cars in the US or maybe even in the world, naturally aspirated, I think this is going to be the fastest one in the world. I truly believe that. When you start to bring in the high power turbo cars and, you know, the cars down at World Time Attack, that's a special breed. That's the next level. And I think those cars start to edge it out, but I think this could run 5 laps at that pace, where the time attack cars are really on the ragged edge of doing one. And if you've seen what happened at World Time Attack when some of these cars try to do 2 flyers, is they'll damage a set of tires because we're so dialed in. It's like 9.9 on that flyer, and so there's nothing left to give on a second lap. In motorsports, not a lot of this makes sense to anybody. You know, it's just like personal goals, or, you know, my dad had one, or whatever it is. This was originally, when the deposit was placed to build the car, was going to be a fresh spec TA1 car to go racing. There was a series switch from race fuel provider, from VP Racing Fuels to another brand, and Our affiliation with VP Fuels and the owner's affiliation with VP Fuels swayed the decision to move it away from a spec car, to not run in this traditional TA series, and to really go down an engineering exercise of what can this thing do unlimited? You know, what if we take all this great base package and put modern aero on it, modern tires, better brakes, better engine. You know, this is a 5-speed sequential where the other ones are traditional 4-speed dog box. You look at it with a fresh set of eyes, because you don't have to build to the rule books, but every car builder wants to do something unlimited like that. And that's how this car came to be. So once the series was not affiliated with VP Fuel, he said, let's go and build something the world's never seen. So yeah, the car builders, aerodynamicists, everybody had a field day with it. I like to drive lightweight sports cars. I like to drive heavyweight, high horsepower, high downforce cars. I really don't care. I just want to drive. But what I do appreciate is what each platform of each car brings to the table. There's certain things that a GT3 does that a Corvette will never do. And that's just how it is. And so, are you a Corvette guy? Are you a Porsche guy? You can look at the stats and say, okay, this one does this better, but one of them has a different soul about it. And so, I think that this TA1 car is the opposite of the GTRs in a lot of ways, because it is so analog. It's two-wheel drive. It's a real, you know, pull the lever sequential transmission. It's just about as analog as it gets. It's got this giant Motec dash, and then it has all these analog gauges next to it that are just so old school NASCAR. I love it. So I fantasize about driving this car all the time. I've gotten to taste the high horsepower, high downforce cars, particularly the GTR that I've been competing with. And so I have fantasies about driving this thing because it's so raw. The car's for sale. So unfortunately, I don't think we'll ever see, you know, the current owner of the car has no plans to run it. It was something cool. It's a work of art, but it's only new once. So he wants to sell it as a new race car, not a used race car. He has another sister car, TA1 car like this, that's in traditional spec, so he gets to go and drive that. But I can't wait for the next owner to go and put it on track and see what it could really do. I'm about $300,000 shy of being able to purchase it myself, so hopefully we can find a good home for it and see what the thing can do, because there's a few races like Pikes Peak. I think it'd be a great car for Pikes Peak. The NASA Nationals are at Daytona this year. I think it'd just do phenomenal there. So there's a handful of races where the thing could easily be the car to win. And I think that people who are involved in motorsports at a high level will look at it and say, hey, that's a sorted package, and realize there's a lot of value in the deal. You know, I hope in my lifetime I get a chance to drive this thing and tell you what it's actually like, but all I can think about is it just being one of the most visceral driving experiences possible, because it is such an analog car with a lot of good modern technology in it.